On August 28, 2009, my daughter Cherylyn was hospitalized for what we thought was a shunt malfunction. She has spina bifida, and that's a neural tube birth defect. Because the defect is located in her spine, she has a shunt, which is a valve that regulates the buildup of spinal fluid in the brain. The fluid goes through some tubing connected to the valve that is surgically placed under the skin until it empties into the abdomen. We thought this shunt had stopped working because Cherylyn had a headache for 6 days with no improvement, and she was vomiting. These are both signs of shunt failure. So we took Cherylyn to the Children's Hospital in Salt Lake, where she had x-rays and an MRI to check her shunt. And from the scans, her shunt seemed to be working, but the doctors could see and could tell that something was wrong. They were pretty sure that it was shunt failure, so emergency surgery was scheduled, and Cherylyn's entire shunt was replaced that same day. The day after the surgery, we took Cherylyn home. She seemed to be fine until the pain medicine wore off. Then her headache returned. She also began to lose some of the feeling in her feet, and I called the hospital to report my concerns. I was told to just give it a few more days because she had just had surgery, but I felt like something was wrong, so I decided to call back the next day because I knew that I'd get another nurse's opinion. The next nurse told me to get Cherylyn back to the hospital as soon as I could. So our family quickly threw together what we could and we drove back to Salt Lake. By the time we got there, Cherylyn could not walk anymore. She had no feeling in her legs, but she felt tingling in her feet. I thought about how weird that would be to feel your feet but not your legs. She was also in intense pain. It hurt if anyone touched her, and when I had to sit her up to put her in a wheelchair. After 3 days of painful testing to try to figure out what was wrong, having several IVs placed because they did not last, and having a feeding tube placed in her, Cherylyn was diagnosed with Guillaine-barre syndrome. Basically, her white blood cells were attacking the myelin sheath surrounding her nerves, which was causing Cherylyn to become paralyzed in some areas of her body and to feel intense pain in the parts that were not paralyzed. We were told that this paralysis would continue to move throughout her body, but that it could be stopped and that it would reverse if they started a certain kind of treatment called an IVIG. Basically, this treatment was to tie up her white blood cells to give them something else to attack so that it would stop attacking her. By the time the treatment took effect, Cherylyn's legs, feet, arms, hands, digestive system, and half of her lungs were paralyzed. She could not speak for a day, but slowly she began to regain feeling and strength. Cherylyn spent 35 days in the hospital recovering from Guillaine-barre, and 3 months afterward going through physical and occupational therapies to regain the movement and strength she had before. The doctors don't know what causes Guillaine-barre syndrome, so I've been doing my own research into possible causes. Some of those possibilities are toxic chemicals found in homes, schools, workplaces, and all buildings. Chemicals that most people don't know are there. I thought there must be some way to get rid of these toxic chemicals, or people would have died off a long time ago. So this led me to plants. Can they do more than just give us oxygen and take in the carbon dioxide that we breathe out?